Okay, so I am back on. All right, so I don't know what happened. All right, everybody's here. I don't know what happened. On my side, my screen just blinked black. It was really weird. And then the camera went off and then came back on, and then it said I was live still, but when I checked my phone, it was showing that it came to a stop. So, and I wasn't going to leave it like that. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to read the chapter. So this is day 7, Proverbs 7. I'm going to read the chapter, and then I'm going to share with you what I tried to share. All right. So I'm sure you guys won't mind hearing the word again, right? So day 7, Proverbs 7. My son, keep my words and treasure my commands within you. Keep my commands and live, and my Torah as the apple of your eye. And I want to reiterate on that part, the apple of our eye. I mean, as Yah called Israel to be the apple of his eye, called David the apple of his eye, and Yah tells us to keep his Torah as the apple of his eye, how could we ever think that his Torah, his feasts, his moedim, his mitzvot could ever be done away with? But bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your nearest kin, that they may keep from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my lattice, and saw among the simple. I perceived among the youths a man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near her corner. And he took the path to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I came out to meet you, diligently to seek your face. I have found you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love. For my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him, and will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver as a bird hastens to the snare. He did not know it would cost his life. Now therefore listen to me, my children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths. For she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death. And what I wanted to share was, okay, so thank you, Barb, for that. So you guys heard everything I said, so I'll recap it real quick for anybody who is joined this time and wasn't on the first try. So I'd read about a pastor in the 90s. He pastored a church for 30 years. He had a lady in his church call him up, all upset and wanting to talk to him, and foolishly he decided to go over to her house. And that's a rule I have. I don't ever go to somebody's house, a woman's house. I don't go into a room alone with a woman or anything else, unless I have my wife or two or a couple people with me, so that there's no way anything can happen or me be accused of fooling around with her or something. But that's what he did. He went over to her house by himself with her alone, and she seduced him, and he had an affair with her. And I don't remember if it was guilt from giving into it, or if it was from it coming out, but it hit him so bad, or it was too overwhelming for him, that he committed suicide. And all of this chain of events. Now, why all of this happened, I don't know. I don't know what kind of pastor he was. I don't know if he was flirting with danger all the time, or maybe he'd been flirting with this woman, or whatever the case may be. Because I don't believe that if you truly belong to Yah, you're really walking a walk that Yah's just going to allow you to just crash and burn like that and then kill yourself. So there's always more to the story, right? But the point is that, as it talks about here with the seductive woman, and what it says, it describes who she is. It says, do not stray into her paths. Verse 26, for she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death. And we, man or woman, we are never above temptation. This is why we have to walk. That's why it started out like it did. My son, keep my words, treasure my commands within you, keep my commands and live, and my Torah as the apple of your eye. When we walk that way in those two verses, when we live this way, and to keep it as the apple of your eye is, can you even describe what that means? We're talking about the most precious thing to you ever is what this is a reference to. And when we do this with Yah's Torah, then and keep his commands, then we live. And if this pastor had been obedient, he knew not to go over to that lady's house. You don't pastor for 30 years and not know better. That's just, especially being a pastor and stuff like that, not to go and be alone with a woman somewhere. Not ever. And it cost him everything. And it cost him his life. And, wisdom in this manner is knowing how to walk in Yah's commandments and knowing not to put yourself in a position that can cost you your soul and your life. Like that pastor I told you about, and like this talks about, it says that all who were slain by her were strong men. We're never above correction. We're never above correction. We're never above temptation. We're never above any of these things. You don't go to people's places like this, and I'm not talking about, man, if an elderly woman, some lady in her 80s or 90s, and you're helping her, obviously, okay, come on, you're helping get stuff into her house or whatever. It's not what I'm talking about. But when you're dealing with women that are around your age group and stuff like that, and if you're attracted to her, and even if you're not, you don't play with fire, because that's exactly what it is. He walked into a house full of hell, and he came out burned. So the biggest thing, Mishpacha, treasure his commands within you. Keep his commands and live, and his Torah as the apple of your eye. So sorry that the first one got messed up, but I wasn't going to let it just leave like that. I had to restart it, so I deleted the other one. So Mishpacha, I hope and pray that you have an awesome, blessed day. Excuse me. I pray you have an awesome and blessed day. And whatever you do today, make sure that everything is in line with Yah. Make sure that it's pleasing and holy unto him, and that you don't put yourself in a position that can get you in trouble. Don't think for a moment, I can't be taken down by this. I can't be tempted by this. Mishpacha, we don't know. Because when we have an arrogance of thinking that we got this, Yah tends to show us just how much we don't have it. So let's just bypass that altogether and know that we don't have it. And let's just be careful. Amen. I love you, Mishpacha, but most of all, Yah loves you. Shalom, shalom.